Chinonso Ogbogu.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just before I get into the pleasantries, can you turn to the next person by your left or right and ask the person his or her name, what you do for a living, and then tell them what you also do for a living? Quickly do that, because this is not a 2-day program, it's just a 1-day program. We can stay here all day and you don't even know the person seated by your side. Okay. Even when the business you do is not something that you proudly communicate, still tell them. And I'll tell you why. Because, I don't know, but allow me to say that I think I'm the person that runs the most unique, strangest of business in this hall. Writing. Come on, writing. When I told one of my mentors that I wanted to set up something like this, he did not believe me, but he did not tell me. He waited after I've blown to tell me that, that time you told me that I didn't even believe. Common writing. I was in Enugu some weeks back, and one of my friends called me and said, so please be honest with me. Is it writing that you are doing, that you have built all the things that you're doing? I said, yeah. He said, I was thinking that maybe you are into another business. So are you sure you are not into something else that we don't know? I said, that's it. And the reason why I have to proudly say this is because young writers, I know some of them are probably there in this hall, they have this shy, timid approach to communicating to the world that they are into writing. So you tell somebody I'm into writing, but there's a burden on your inside that is forcing you to say, I'm also into. Or, I'm a writer, but I'm pursuing my master's. Because you are shy. But Sabi Writers has come to the world to change that narrative. And just before I get into my story, allow me to observe all protocol, right? My Oga, Mr. and Pastor Wisdom. I hope my mic is good. Is it good now? Okay, great. Can you hear me from the back? Okay, good. So thank you so much, sir, for honoring me with your invitation. I'm deeply grateful. I'm still your boy. And I'm seeing some persons for the very first time. If you know Sabi Writers, let me see your hands up. Okay, great. I'm seeing some persons for the first time. And one of the things that I'm so proud of is that Sabi Writers' name has gone ahead. In fact, Sabi Writers' name is more popular than my name. That if you don't know me, you will never know that this is the person, together with his team, that started the company. But there's nothing that we could have done without the support of humans. That I'm standing on this stage is also a testament to that belief, that somebody like him could give me a platform. So thank you, sir. And to everyone that will be speaking and the persons that have spoken, I also want to extend my deep gratitude. Now, let me start my story. Anytime I tell my story, I'm quite emotional. I was just joking with Pastor Wisdom, and I said, the way you told your story, if I come and tell my own story, it will be like say I be a jebota. Because your own hard bag, you don't suffer. But suffering is in the body of the beholder. Yes. You are finished telling your story. Wait until somebody else tells their story. So you don't have monopoly for suffering. That's the point I'm making. So I'm from a family of 5, now 4, because my younger brother was murdered on the 13th of October, 2022. Sorry, 2023. I'm a graduate of Lagos Business School. I'd finished my class that day on a Thursday. I went to my hotel room and I slept off. And at exactly 11 p.m., my phone rang. But just before I could clean my eyes, the call ended, and I looked and it was my mom. And I said, what could be the problem? My mom does not call me by this time. So I quickly returned the call. The moment she picked the call, what she was saying on the phone, hey, they don't kill him, oh. Your brother is dead, oh. Your brother is dead, oh. Hey, I said, Mom, hold on. hold on a bit. What are you saying? What are you saying? Hold on. My word just went this way. I said, hold on. She was screaming, and I ended the call. Because I've known that if you want to hear bad news, don't allow my mom to tell you first. She will add pepper, she will add tomato, she will add curry, and then she will add a big bottle of Linka. So I called my dad, and my dad picked and said, I was unsettled. Cut a long story short, I called back my mom, and then somebody picked the call and said, guy, hold on a bit. Are you the elder brother? I said, yes. He said, boy, make I no lie for you. Your brother don't die. I said, what? What happened? So I grew up from Ajegule. If you're familiar with Ajegule, it's the ghetto side of Lagos. I'm the only member of my family that was born in a manger in the village and then taken to Lagos. But we lived in a one-room apartment in Ajegule. And then eventually started moving out. So the story, and this I'm telling this this is the first time I'm telling it to the general crowd like this. I only tell it to my employees. But the story was, he was at home that day. In fact, that day, my mom and my dad had gone to his wife-to-be to indicate interest that they were coming to pay the wife's bride price. So they came back that evening, and he was just excited. He was seated outside in one of the ghetto side of Lagos. And the wife, the both of them were discussing. And then the wife said, you know what, I'm coming. Let me go and pack the clothes that I washed. They are in the backyard. So the wife left him. So he came out from the building, and he was urinating. And he was urinating, and somebody in the bus came down and said, why you dey piss on my tire? Trust young guys. Why you dey, if I piss and call, da 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 da. They started exchanging words. And then it led to a fight. The fight had ended. So he was somewhere discussing, and this was happening around 9 p.m. at night. I was busy somewhere in Lagos Business School. I was in class, and I had just come back, and I was in the hotel room. And he was telling the person what had happened, and he was backing the guy. Unknown to him, the guy ran somewhere, picked up a very sharp object, and ran towards him. By the time he turned this way, the guy stabbed him. And it pierced into his heart. They rushed him to hospital. They did Nigerian factor. And he was declared dead. I was the one that went to the hospital. No, I went to the mortuary, saw his dead body, and I drove him from Lagos to the east to bury my younger brother in cold blood. Stories plenty. What are your reasons? What's holding you back? Guess what? That young guy had dreams. But he's gone. I was coming in here, and the lady asked me a question during the red carpet. She said, what message do you have for young people? And I said, I only have one message. And that message is to trigger an urgency for impact. You already have it. I'm not coming here to teach you how to make impact. You already know. Vision, hard work, service. But what you need to add to that is a sense of urgency for transformation. You don't have time. Some of you are 17, 18, maybe 30 something, you don't have time. I was once a teenager. On the 23rd of this month, my wife gave birth to her second child. You don't have time. My first child is asking me now that, Daddy, buy me an aeroplane. She deserves it. You don't have time. So let's go back a little bit. So I finished my first degree. I read banking and finance because I wanted to be a banker. But by the time I graduate, I'd already changed that dream. I wanted to be a public speaker. So I called my parents. They are not learned. They are not schooled. So I called them this fateful day in that small house in Ajegule. There was no light, so we had a candle on. And I told them that I don't want to be a banker anymore. So they asked me, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be a public speaker. They don't understand what that means. They are from the extraction of banker, engineer, medical doctor, and all of that. And they said, what do you mean by that? I said, I want to be speaking. And my mom said, so you mean you will just be talking? And people will be giving you money. That's what you want to do with your life. I said, yes. I said, well, we don't understand what you're talking about, but you are our child, we will bless you. So what do you want to do? I said, I want to leave Lagos and go to Enugu and start off my life. I was about 21. So I left Lagos, and I went to Enugu. And I was in Enugu for 4 years, and I was struggling. My life was a mess. My mom came to visit me one day. She got to my house, she screamed, and she looked at me and she said, Chinonso Ogbogu. Chinonso Ogbogu. If you are from the Igbo side of Nigeria, what it means is, Chinonso, is this where you live? You know, there's a level of question somebody will ask you. If they are not asking for an answer, the question is born out of their shock. It's a reflection of their shock, not that they are seeking answers from you. And she started crying because my house was like where pigs used to live. I remember this particular day, I was reading on the floor, no bed, no curtain, nothing. And a big snake was crawling into my house. And I screamed, Jesus! That was how bad the place was. If you're from Ajegula, you know what they call shalanga. How many of us have used shalanga here? Where you'll be going to use the long one and you'll be like this. How many of us have tried that? You guys are Ajebota. You are using the restroom and you are doing your hand like this. Who can guess why you are doing that way? Good. You are getting it. Flies. Okay, sorry. That's the kind of... And if you are not careful, particularly for the females, you can contract something else. And we are about 14 using that same spot. So many people hear about Sabi writers, what Sabi writers has done, what Sabi writer is doing, and they think that it came from the sky. No. I've been burnt and I still smell smoke. It's a place that when you come, when it rains, my entire house will be flooded. But at that stage, I had pictures of people that I wanted to be like on my wall. My dad came to visit me and he slept on a bare floor. And I woke up at midnight and I saw how my dad was chasing mosquito. One day my mom called me and said, so this thing you are doing in Enugu, if it's not working, come to Lagos. But remember, 4 years ago, I've left home. I'm the first son. I told my younger ones that I was coming to make it, and I will come back to celebrate. But 4 years after, you had nothing to show for it. And you are coming back not to a bungalow, not to a duplex, not to a flat. You're coming back to a one-room apartment in Ajegule. So on the 1st of October 2014, I said, you know what? I'm tired. So I packed my bags and I moved to Lagos. Broke, dejected, suicidal. Now, ladies, please, hold on for a minute. I'll come back to you. Let me talk to my men. There's a level a man gets to in life that if he cannot provide for your household, there's a certain level of pain that you feel. I don't think ladies understand. But when a man cannot provide for his household, so many things can go wrong in your brain. So I moved back to Lagos on the 1st of October 2014 with 12 big Ghana Must Go loaded with books. That was all I came with. 12 big Ghana Must Go loaded with books. In fact, the money I spent to take the things to Lagos was sent to my elder sister, 30,000 naira. And I came to Lagos. I arrived in Lagos around 11 p.m. and I collapsed because I was rushed to the hospital. Life had beaten me blue-black. But you know, there's a way you get to the hospital and you are admitted. Your problem ceases to be your problem. It becomes somebody else's problem. What you eat in the morning does not concern you. Morning, my mom will bring yam and egg. Afternoon, they will bring sardine and bread. Evening, jollof rice and chicken. There was now a temptation in me not to get well. As in anything, life will just continue like this. But at the end of the day, life will wait, say, okay, you have to get well, come back for round 2. And I got discharged. The day I was discharged, I was angry. So I got back home, and life looked at me and said, so, what next? What next? You are in the same room with your parents, your siblings, your first son. You are not providing anything for the household. Your dad is going out and he gives you 200 naira as an adult. Quite embarrassing. They serve you food. At some point, I became so embarrassed eating food in presence of my dad. Because there's a way I'll be eating the food, he'll be looking at me. When you are not paying NEPA bill, you are not paying for sanitation. And see, I've told my employees this many times, that the love that comes from respect, the respect that comes from value is more powerful than the respect that comes from love.